Hello and welcome to another one of these like special movie unscripted movie reviews. So I just came out of the cinemas after watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and it was very good. I watched 1 and 2 like a week ago to prepare for this film, and I feel like all that knowledge of the previous films and the Christmas special to some extent, Infinity War and Endgame to some extent as well, but I feel like all of that stuff with the Guardians and the time we spent with the Guardians all comes down to this film, and everything is executed perfectly by James Gunn in my opinion. I think it's his best film, I really do, and I came out of this film being very satisfied. I'm very emotional because this film is very emotional. It deals a lot with Rocket's backstory, which has been teased a lot in previous films, and I think it dealt with that really well. There's so many proper like heart-wrenching moments to do with Rocket's backstory in this film. This film just doesn't hold back, which I love about it. In terms of the rest of the Guardians, they're just great as always. Drax is probably my favourite character out of all of the Guardians. He's just the funniest character. The rest of the characters all have their different and unique personalities as well that clash perfectly. The length of this film is the longest out of all of the Guardians films. It's 2.5 hours, I think. I did not feel the length at all. It was really well paced. The action, phenomenal. James Gunn knows how to pull off action. Also, I forgot to mention that the High Evolutionary was a really great villain. He's very threatening. He has no redeemable qualities, which makes him a very unlikable villain, but in a good way. I also forgot to mention the soundtrack. The soundtrack is phenomenal as always from James Gunn. I don't know why I forgot that. I need to remember more stuff. Since my review was really short for Mario, I think I'm going to delve into spoiler territory. James Gunn said before this film came out that someone in the Guardians was going to die, and no one in the Guardians died. James Gunn did a little bit of trolling there. I was almost certain that Rocket was going to die in this film, obviously with all the backstory for him and how the trailers presented Rocket. And then you obviously got the post-credit scenes, especially the second one, which confirmed that Peter Quill will return, even though James Gunn is done with the MCU, which is pretty exciting, but I just hope they continue his story in a respectable way, but I'm not sure. With the MCU, they've done some characters dirty in the past. I'm really excited to see if like Peter Quill return in like Secret Wars, the Kang Dynasty, one of the Avengers films. I don't really have much else to say really. It's just an extremely well made film, the best of the trilogy in my opinion. I also think maybe just maybe it might be the best of the MCU. Maybe it's because I watched Infinity War and Endgame like a year after they came out, when all the hype had died down and everyone knew what happened. But this movie just had the heart, it had the humour, it was a roller coaster of emotions. It's perfect. I don't really have any complaints. A lot of people saying that Adam Warlock didn't have enough screen time, but it didn't like really stand out to me that Adam Warlock didn't have enough screen time. I'd probably give it a 10. It's amazing in terms of filmmaking, cinematography, direction, acting from everyone's great. Love it. It's funny as always as well. It has that amazing James Gunn humour. They balance the emotion with the humour really great as well. I'm going to do a scripted review of this like I did with Mario. I'll do that with my end of the month video for May. And yeah, I guess that's all. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you didn't like it, please leave a dislike, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, as you can see, I've got like a I've got shelves and that behind me. I've got a shelf here full of books, game stuff, CDs, vinyl here, all my DVDs and Blu-rays. I've got my record player there. I got my pop figures there. I'm going to put that on a shelf above. But this used to be a wardrobe, and then my dad like cut it in half, and now he's turned it into a shelf. So I have more room for my Blu-rays, which is great. And I feel like I have a new like backdrop for this series, what I'm doing where I review films out of the cinemas or whatever. So my dad's going to fit in shelves here, so I can fit my pop figures down here onto these shelves. Hopefully it'll look really great. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah.